Hello, my friends. Today, the international press is starting to pick up the Henry Nowak case in the United Kingdom. This young man who was unfortunately killed by an Indian, a Sikh, who was carrying a dagger, a ceremonial dagger, which the law allows him to carry, as I told you yesterday. It's the same in Canada. In Canada, well, it's the same religious accommodations where they say, well, you don't have the right to have, a fork on you, but the Sikh, he has the right to walk around with a weapon, a bladed weapon. The thing or the problem is that the law doesn't exactly define what a kirpan is. They call it a kirpan, but the law isn't very clear about what it is. That means he could potentially call anything a kirpan. We know that this young man took a long time to die. It took 67 minutes, which means that potentially he could have been saved if the cops had intervened instead of handcuffing him. So the British police arrive, a man and a woman we know today. The man apparently resigned from the police. I hope he will be prosecuted. So when they arrive, they find the killer and they find the victim on the ground. The victim on the ground says a significant number of times that he is mortally wounded. There is even a witness who approached the police as they parked, telling them that someone has been seriously injured. He is on the ground. And what do the police do? When they arrive, the killer is there. The killer's mother, had gone to hide the weapon, right? The weapon used in the crime. But when the cops arrive at the crime scene, they find the killer, they find the victim, and the killer says, and this is extraordinary, it shows you the madness today, the madness of wokeism, the madness of political correctness in the United Kingdom. There, the killer says to the police, I heard racist remarks. That has become the ultimate weapon, the weapon of infinite power in the United Kingdom. Everything bows down before it. There have been, in Rotterdam and other places, there have been women, young girls who have been trafficked, even children. Sometimes we're talking about 12, 13 years old who have been trafficked by gangs. And the police were so afraid of being accused of racism that they preferred to look the other way. There are even times when families of victims' parents go to the police with their child to file a complaint. And the police threaten them by saying, I don't like what you're saying. Those are racially charged remarks. That could be illegal. Remember, you're at the police station. Keep going like this and you'll end up in handcuffs. Families of victims were terrorized, left the police, and were subjected again to their tormentors. So, the police, when they got involved in the case, so when we're talking about Nowak, Henry Nowak, he tells them that he was attacked, that he's injured, that he's bleeding, that he can't breathe. The cops tell him, no, I don't think so. They handcuff him behind his back. Afterwards, they searched his phone. They searched the phone for racially charged comments, for racist remarks. So they said, we're going to search, we're going to look. Maybe he's subscribed to far-right stuff. Maybe on his WhatsApp, he exchanged memes or jokes a little bit, some questionable stuff. So they're going to have to investigate. So with an 18-year-old young man dying at their feet without any care, without any help, they were already investigating to find out if he was racist or not. Honestly, I can tell you today, I don't understand why some countries are trying to get access to the atomic bomb. It's pointless. The United Kingdom, here's the ultimate weapon. You build a drone. In that drone, you put speakers. These speakers blast accusations of racism. You fly over the country. I can tell you, you'll cause a disaster. People will lie down on the ground. People will put their heads underwater. They'll start screaming, convulsing on the ground. If they hear an accusation of racism, they've taken it to a whole new level with that. That completely goes beyond. It completely goes beyond understanding. It goes beyond what we can. Add to that the class contempt. Add to that the fact that the local white proletarians are despised by their elites. Add to that, and let's be honest about it, we made a mistake with Brexit because what we did was give sovereignty. Be careful, that's dangerous. We gave full and complete sovereignty to people who despise us, to people who despise the British people. You see, people who have contempt for the people, we gave them full sovereignty. What are they going to do with it? Well, what you're seeing now. You see, they're attacking the population in a brutal way. So what we know today is that the Prime Minister, because there are voices that have said, It's not normal that for religious accommodation, we allow people to walk around with a weapon. Especially since, I don't know, in Canada, in Vancouver, 2 years ago, there was a shooting. A man was killed because there was a Sikh who was smoking. And he told him, listen, there's a baby here and all that. You shouldn't be smoking in front of him and everything. The Sikh took out his ceremonial dagger. Bam, he killed him. There's a video online. It's horrible. Here we have another case, you see. Well, some people said maybe it's not reasonable. It's not reasonable to allow people through religious accommodation to carry a weapon. Well, today, the British Prime Minister, spoke out and said that he supports the religious freedom of Sikhs to carry a weapon in public. That's it. We'll see how long this resolution will last, because the guy is used to saying things and then when there's an outcry, he backtracks. That's actually his trademark. But there you go, just to tell you that there's nothing that could appease these elites. There's nothing that could make them change their minds. It's a very strong choice that's been made. It's not a choice made out of weakness or hesitation. No, it's a brutal, clear-cut choice. They know what they're doing and will persist until the end. Until the end, for some, for others, because now the problem is that more and more countries are following my lead. I think that in France, you're not there yet. But basically, yes, in my opinion, you're slipping. I'm telling you right now, in France, if you vote for another Macron clone, you'll end up seeing the United Kingdom as a paradise on earth. You'll find that the United Kingdom is an extraordinary place. Honestly, you'll find that the United Kingdom is an amazing country. Just vote one more time for a Macron clone. There you go, I watch, I follow, all that. But honestly, that's what I say in private. I shouldn't even say it online, actually. I shouldn't say it online, but I'm going to say it online. Recently, I spoke with a friend who said the media in France is hyping up support for Attal and people want to vote for him. I told him as follows, if they vote for Attal, I won't care about their fate anymore. I'm sincere. I mean, at some point, if the French want Macron and people like him, what do you want to do about it? After a while, I mean, you have to respect their choice. You don't understand it. I'm not required to understand it. I'm not required to agree with it. But if it's their choice and it's a conscious choice, repeated vote after vote, if for 10 years, 15 years, they keep making the same choice, what are you going to do? You're not going to stop them. I mean, after a while, well, that's democracy speaking. That's how it is, and that's it. You see? Yeah. So we're slowly moving toward an us or them mindset, you know, one side against the other. In Southampton, there were protests that were suppressed. As you can imagine, the police are monitoring social media. People are going to get picked up. Say one word too many and the police will be at your door. Me, I'm glad to be in the tropics. Because honestly, if I had made this video in the United Kingdom, I assure you, I would have been a bit more careful with my words. So people are getting arrested today for what they say, for a tweet, for a post on Facebook. They've even arrested people. Let me tell you, attacks on the freedom to think and express yourself have reached a level that, look, I'll give you two examples. You need to know, honestly, people don't realize what's happening in this country. Look, there are people in a parent group on WhatsApp. In many schools, parents have a WhatsApp group. Well, there are parents who criticize the administration. A mild criticism. Yes, we're not happy with the way the school is managed, all that. No defamation. No threats, just parents expressing their dissatisfaction. They ended up with 8 police officers at their house. Police arrested them in front of their children, handcuffed them, and took them into custody at the station. Then afterwards, they were released because it was realized that no law had been broken. There was no law. Because once the lawyers got involved in everything, they asked, okay, but what are you accusing them of? Well, they criticized the management of a school. Yes, but what law forbids criticizing the management of a school? Yes, but he's still a principal. You see what I mean? He's a principal. He might be offended by that remark. Yes, but after that, there's no law. Well, we have to let them go. Another one, he criticized Hamas online, the Palestinian Hamas, which, just for your information, is classified as a terrorist group in the United Kingdom. He criticized them. And what happened is that two cops showed up, 19 years old, totally uneducated, totally, but really, that's the kind of people who get recruited. They arrest him and take him to the station. You offended Hamas. Did Hamas file a complaint with you? No. But we heard that on social media. You wrote against people called Hamas. Do you know who they are? No, I don't know who they are, but because they don't even know. It's stories about the Middle East, about stuff, about nothing. No idea, no idea. They don't know what they're talking about. Really, I'm telling you, they're ignorant, really ignorant. These are people who, when they start their day, they just load the BIOS in their heads. Only the BIOS starts up. That allows them to breathe, their heart is beating and all that. But nothing else, nothing else. Really, it's scary. It's scary because look, someone who is vicious, someone who is evil, Machiavellian, but who is intelligent, you can always deal with them. You can always negotiate. You can always talk. But when you have complete idiots who have power over you, who have the power to handcuff you, to arrest you at home, to search your house, to cause a scandal, to park 3 police vehicles in front of your house, in front of the neighbors and all that, to call your employer, to tell them that you are under arrest and all that. What do you do when you're facing idiots? Well, they kept him all day. And then they realized that, well, there's nothing to do. We can't do anything with him. We're not going to take him to the guillotine, you see? Well, what did they do? They let him go. Except that we're in the extrajudicial. It's non-stop intimidation. These are intimidation procedures so that people are afraid to speak out today. Don't criticize any authority, even in private. Don't criticize anyone who holds any kind of authority. Don't criticize anyone, not your boss, supervisor, your children's principal, or the swimming instructor. Because if the police hear, because today, look, what they've been instructed to do is to work, if you will, not about the legality of the statement or anything else. It's about whether this statement could offend someone. So they officially ask if it could cause offense or distress. That's the measure. So as soon as they hear something that could offend someone, well, they consider that it falls under their authority. That's it. And then I'll talk to you about something else, but that will be for another video. It seems that the police have received, and that's quite, I don't have the sources on hand. That's why I'm a bit cautious about talking about it. But they have clearly received instructions to treat people in the United Kingdom based on their ethnicity. Knowing that the white person, remember the video I made, 10 years ago now about the discrimination triangle. The British white person is at the very bottom. Yeah, there you go. It's terrible. Listen, I'm African. Okay, I'm African. I was born in Algeria and all that. Even though the United Kingdom has been a welcoming country, that's why I defend this country. I defend this society. And I'm really shocked at where this country is heading. But that's it. I don't see any end to all this today. In any case, my friends, thank you for watching this video up to this point. Let me remind you one last time about the Lucid Circle, my coaching website, which is still open for registrations for 2 more days. It's a paid site offering support with life in general, private life, professional projects, expatriation projects, and personal projects. We cover everything, 360 degrees. We bring clarity on circlelucide.com, circlelucide.com, circlelucide.com. Check the link in the pinned comment. Registration is still open until Friday evening. On Saturday, registration will be closed until further notice. There will be a waiting list until the next time I open them, depending on my schedule and the time I can find. But honestly, it could potentially be in 2027. That's it. Thank you, my friends, for watching until now, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.